The late letter, Dear Serena, I banged your mom. I don't love you. XOXO, your dad. Also, I'm Gossip Girl. He's been making her life a living hell for the past 2 years. Her dad's actually Gossip Girl.
Hey, Upper East Siders and all you scandal-loving listeners out there. You just tuned into the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, where the coffee is strong, the waffles are fresh, and the gossip is hotter than ever. My name is Leif, and I'm your seasoned Gossip Girl veteran.
And I'm Steve, the newbie, the greenhorn, I don't know, Leif, what am I now that we're in season 3?
I don't know, but I have more important things to do than search for another member of the Bart Bass fan club.
Yeah, but Leif, what if that's my mother? So here's the deal, folks. Leif has been watching since the beginning, and I am tuning in for the very first time. And together, we are going to bring you all the drama, the romance, and sometimes questionable fashion choices of this iconic 2007 series.
Bring your magnifying glasses, because each week we're dissecting every juicy detail of the show, one episode at a time. We'll connect the dots, uncover those sneaky little Easter eggs, and of course serve up some piping hot behind-the-scenes tea. And expect some iconic fandom moments too, because what's a deep dive without a little drama?
And since we are all about inclusivity here at the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, there is always room for you at the Non-Judging Breakfast table. So go ahead and grab a mimosa, a cup of coffee, or roll up something from Chuck's stash, and let's go ahead and get into this.
But before we get into the episode, we got another comment from Nostalgic Edit. She posted on episode 310, They Shoot Humphreys. Or no, that was the last days of the disco stick. And her comment was, this episode is all over the place. LOL, but very Layla Gerstein. I don't think you guys have discussed the fact that she created Heart of Dixie. I find she's great at writing towards Blair and Leighton, and Summer Rachel comedic silly sides, which I love.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know she was the showrunner for that show.
Yeah, me neither.
Never really got into that one.
Yeah, I didn't. I've never seen it. I will say that I do agree with the fact that she really captured those pieces of the characters really well, though. Mm. I mean, yeah.
And the other thing I want to mention is I was watching a behind-the-scenes video of Penn Badgley for the U final season, and he pointed out that the soundstage that is now, or probably no longer is, but it was for a couple years there, the cage
was in the Waldorf apartment.
Yes.
And the loft. And the loft
was the bookstore.
Was the bookstore, yes. Yeah. I thought that was really interesting. I actually also saw Chase Crawford doing an interview. And I typically flip right past a lot of these things because I'm worried they're going to say something. I saw Blake Lively one time mention that she was going to marry her or be stepbrother with her boyfriend right before Rufus and Lily got married, things like that. It was Chase very specifically talking about when he and Ed first joined the cast and they had just shot the pilot episode, and how the two of them were brand new to New York. This guy from England, this guy from Texas, and they're like, well, should we just room together? And they're like, sure. And so they only knew each other.
Yes.
So
Chase's dad actually put up the money for the deposit.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause they didn't have any money because they were just out of college and just starting their careers. And they went out to this concert and they were already recognized before the show was released. They had shot the pilot, but it wasn't out yet. And then Chase talked about how surreal it was to then go from being this, I don't want to say poor, but this kid who was just starting out to then kind of living the Nate Archibald life and then being Nate Archibald in the city where Nate Archibald is famous.
Yeah.
So it was, and for him and Ed to just kind of become those roles in the very beginning, which also kind of explains at least a little bit about it.
And then the interview you saw was from the Call Your Daddy podcast, but actually that's something that Chase has been saying for years. He's kind of been pretty open. They roomed together for at least like 2 years, I think.
Yeah,
those two and Jessica Zor, who plays Vanessa, were kind of like a trio.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Kind of makes sense. I could see that. It's always funny. We talked a little bit last week about Topher Grace and how he wanted nothing to do with the rest of that 70s show cast. And it is funny when you learn about these cliques that go on inside and outside of it. You know, we have these best friends of Serena and Blair, but as we've said, Blake and Leighton are completely different people. They come from completely different places, completely different backgrounds. So it's...
While the show was running, you kind of had Ed, Chase, and Jessica hanging out. You had Connor and Taylor Momsen were hanging out.
That tracks. The kids.
You had...
Was Connor age appropriate like Jenny?
Mm-hmm.
He looks it.
Yeah. I think he's like a year or two older, but he's still in school at the start of the show.
Yeah.
And then Penn and Blake neither of them really drink, and they just kind of were in their own love bubble for the first 3 seasons.
Yeah, yeah. So they're still together now on the show, right?
Yeah, it's pretty close. I think they're getting pretty close to the breakup.
Okay.
I'll look up when that exactly happened, because I know it's coming up soon, I think. And then Leighton was, I guess, something just kind of like a homebody.
Yeah.
She liked to read.
That makes sense. It really makes sense that she likes to read, too. She plays smart characters, and I feel like that's something that she looks for in roles.
Well, let's get into this episode.
All right.
Season 3, Episode 13, The Hurt Locket. Original air date was March 8th, 2010. Just over 3 months since the last episode.
Right.
Which is a long break.
It's a long break, and it doesn't feel like it was shot 3 months later. And it doesn't feel like we're supposed to believe it was a 3-month break. Like, it feels like it picks up a week or two later.
I'm trying to think, could it have been like Winter Olympics or something? I don't know what would have made that long delay in 2009 to 2010.
Yeah, I mean, Winter Olympics is one thing. There wasn't another strike or anything like that. I wonder if maybe something was going on at the CW. Maybe they brought in a new show, a mid-season show that they wanted to ramp up for a bit. But it was a weird break.
And of course, the title is based on The Hurt Locker, which I was shocked to find out was almost 20 years old. That movie is in 2008.
When I saw that was the title of the episode, I felt so fucking old. It was, how is The Hurt Locker 20 years old? Like blew my mind.
But of course, if you haven't seen it, it was directed by Catherine Bigelow. They had a little bit of an Adventures reunion cast featuring Anthony Mackie, Jeremy Renner, and Evangeline Lilly. Along with Guy Pearce, David Morse, and Ralph Fiennes.
It's a tense movie. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tense movie. Good movie. I think Catherine Bigelow's a really good director. She's done some other really great films too. And
David Morse is a local.
Oh.
I actually, one time I saw him at the sushi restaurant I was at.
No kidding.
And got talking.
I didn't realize that.
This episode was written by Sarah Goodman, one of the executive producers of the show. This is her second of 3 episodes this season. Previous episode was 307, How to Succeed in Bassness.
How did we feel about that one?
I think we liked that one.
Felt like the writing in this one.
Yeah, this was not a good episode. I didn't think.
No.
This episode was directed by Tony Warmby, back in the chair for his 7th and final episode of the series.
Oof.
But he previously did Victrola, School Lies, Woman on the Verge, Chuck in Real Life, In the Realm of the Basses, and most recently, The Last Days of the Disco Stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last 2 episodes is not that great, and not.
I like Disco Stick enough.
It was funny.
It was a fun episode. I really liked Blair and Nate in that episode. I'm not surprised this was the last.
Why don't you give us that Vulture recap?
Okay. Everybody needs to play games. Blair Waldorf, the scheming queen of the Upper East Side, says early on in the first episode of the new spring season of Gossip Girl. If only by that she meant sexual role-playing games involving characters from Tolstoy. Alas, the New Yorkers on Gossip Girl, like New Yorkers in real life, choose to play games that are far less satisfying. Serena, feeling rejected by Nate after he tries to heed her dictum to go slow, tries to make him jealous by flirting with international drug dealer and ambassador's son Damien. Rufus, feeling rejected by Lily after her off-screen makeout session with Keith Vanderwoodson, turns to conveniently available neighbor lady in hopes that she will, lick his wounds. Meanwhile, his daughter, Jenny, takes her lauded Humphrey Boggle skills and applies them to masterminding a complicated drug transaction. Lily is coy about the exact nature of her interaction with Serena's father, and the mysterious Elizabeth Fisher plays dumb about her relationship with Bart Bass. Only Dan remains uninterested in deception and in pursuit of the similarly earnest Vanessa forlornly spends the episode reading How to Turn Friends into Lovers. He'll end up in clogs. Sorry for the messed up reading. I dropped my phone and shattered the screen last weekend, and it is the entire screen, and it's a pain in my ass.
Time for a new phone.
Yeah, and it already was, but I was just putting it off, and then that happened, and so it's like, okay.
Well, let's get into the episode. Act 1 begins with a Gossip Girl monologue. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Seems Dickens do something about life on the Upper East Side, where the only thing you can count on is times changes everything. Word has it, S gave up politics to focus on issues closer to her heart.
Gave up politics. Gave up politic.
Shots fired. We open with a phone conversation between Serena and Blair. Serena is excited for Nate to come home, but Blair advises her to take things slow. As they hang up, Blair finds the locket from last episode.
Yeah, I chuckled at that Serena gave up politics thing. She was never in politics. Politics were in her.
She sort of was. She was officially hired by the campaign.
Okay. She was. I repeat, the politics were in her more than she was in politics.
Hey, we don't know what Trump is into.
No, that's also true. Does he have a fish thing? Why, I oughta. Blair also knows Nate. The conversation with Serena. Now, the friends all give terrible advice here, but it comes from this place that they really do know these people. Like, Blair knows Nate better than probably anyone else, which is funny because I don't think Nate knows Blair as well as Blair knows Nate, which I think is a huge thing that we've picked up from their relationship all along.
Yeah.
Whereas Chuck knows Blair better than anyone.
Serena bumps into Damien, and we learn they went to boarding school together.
Of course they did.
I think Serena was just being friendly when she says she will see Damien at the dinner party tomorrow, but I think Damien is getting other ideas.
Yes, of course they remember each other from the school she attended for 5 minutes, which the later references to this. Was she there for a year?
Yeah, when they come back, she's been gone a year.
Oh, right. I don't know why I was thinking it was just the summer, but yes, you're right. She was gone 1 year without her friend. Okay. I forgot that. I don't know why I was thinking she was gone for a summer, that she went to boarding school. I in my head watching this, it was she went to boarding school in September. Eric tried to kill himself. She came right home.
She was there for a year. But what I flagged up the scene, she tells him to text her his number. She's just assuming that he has her number.
I'm sure you stalked me at some point.
But then again, Serena does throw her phone away.
She does. She does. Well, and man,
this is pre-cloud.
She's such a narcissist. Just, of course you have my number. Just make sure when you text me, I know it's you, because I do throw away phones.
Blair asks Chuck about the locket. Chuck is dismissive and lets us know that one of his father's quote-unquote concubines had Bart's names tattooed on her ass. Blair asks for help getting an introduction to the rumored president of Tabla Elitaire, which Blair is still obsessed with, despite acting like he doesn't care about the necklace. As Blair leaves, we see Chuck with a text from Andrew Tyler, who has found the jeweler.
Ooh, secret society. Ooh, secret society. Is this a new secret society, or have we seen this one?
This is the same one that Georgina tricked her with about earlier.
Okay, right. With the painting, with the art, with the photograph.
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
We see Lily helping Jenny unpack. We find out that Jenny spent some time with Allison and Hudson, and Rufus has been away with Lincoln Hawk and Telluride. Damien interrupts with a welcome back gift for Jenny. Lily is concerned about leaving Jenny alone in her room with Damien, but Jenny brushes it off. Also, it seems like Lily and Rufus haven't been talking over the long break.
Yeah, of course, Rufus. Of course. Rufus. Oh, I get this letter. Instead of finding out anything about it, I'm just going to run away. I'm going to go to Telluride and ski because I'm so mad at my wife. So I'm just going to take her credit card and go to Telluride with my band. And I'm going to go play a show in Telluride and not take my wife.
I just get this Rufus keep his band in a closet. Because they don't seem to have any other lives. Whenever he's ready to go on tour, they're there. When he wants to go off on a ski trip, they're there.
They've all taken their every time money and banked it, and they've all just got huge stock portfolios, and they do nothing but just sit around. They probably have their own band, like the band. They've got, we don't realize they're actually Maroon 5.
They're just such NPCs.
They are. They're always ready to play.
We quickly find out Jenny was in fact telling the truth about her relationship with Damien not being romantic. It turns out Damien has a puzzle involving drugs that he needs Jenny's help solving.
I liked that. I did like, the you're a good puzzle solver. And I do like it. The Humphrey gaming thing. Yeah. And it is one of those, being a gamer, you and I both know this, as gamers, it makes us, it does have that problem solving component to it, and so I do love that was kind of showcased. Also, I want to dial back just a second to the conversation between Lily and Jenny, where Lily's like, hey, your dad and I haven't discussed this. I don't know what to do in this situation. And Jenny's like, if we wanted to have sex, we'd go to a hotel. We're just going to go in there and talk. If anything changes, I'll open the door. We're cool. And I feel like there's a part of me that would be like, fuck that. The door stays open. But there's a bigger part of me that's like, she's got a point. She's got a point.
They could just grab a hotel.
Yeah.
Hell, Damien probably is living in a hotel.
Yeah.
Rufus comes home to the loft rather than the penthouse and immediately ignores the call from Lily. Short scene, but yeah, he's just being a douche.
But fuck you, Rufus. God,
such a child.
I cannot fucking.
I mean, they're both children.
They are. Lily, I have written down here somewhere much later that Lily is the reason Serena is a narcissist, because Lily is just as big of a narcissist. It's just that Lily also can manage her shit a lot better and can brush her shit off so much more. Honestly, if Rufus right now, at the end of this episode, if Rufus really was like, okay, Lily, we're done. Lily, okay. I'll find number 6.
Chuck is at the jeweler and finds out that Bart is the one who bought the locket, and a woman matching the description of the one from the graveyard brought the necklace in about a month ago for a repair. Chuck bribes the jeweler into giving him the name of the woman and the hotel she is staying at. The name is Elizabeth Fisher.
This locket is all that I have left of my dad. And the $1 billion that I, spent on this hotel. And the billions of dollars he left me that I then squandered to buy another hotel instead of running a hotel chain.
Gossip Girl begins the next scene. With enough time, we all find what we're looking for. Serena gets off the elevator to find Nate waiting for her a day early. They both agree to take things slow, but before immediately making out with each other, things continue getting hotter and Gossip Girl continues. And when time slows, and suddenly every moment counts, all you want is for the time to last forever.
Nate, don't you have a driver waiting for you? Weren't you just a second ago like, well, I should get going. There's a guy down there waiting to take me back to my house.
I mean, he's paid to drive, just circle the block.
Or just park illegally and he'll pay the...
But
just park in front
But we really needed Dorota to just follow these two around with a water bottle up. So
yeah.
Stop being horny. Stop being horny.
Newspaper. Pops out of the coats, between the coats. In the coat room.
Yes. We get into Act 2. We get some more Nate and Dan bro time at the cafe. Sounds like Vanessa has been ghosting Dan all break, causing him to read at least 5 self-help blogs on how to turn friends to lovers.
Dan, so fucking pathetic. Yeah. Dan, that is, it's kind of stalking almost. It's stalker adjacent, I'd say, to obsess this way.
He definitely came on way too strong. You don't go from friends to I love you.
Yeah, and also get over it. Like, Vanessa was very clear, this isn't happening. She shut that shit down. She got up. She walked away. I've never loved Vanessa more than in that moment. And Dan, you're kind of sad at this point.
Yeah.
Because you don't really love her. You just saw her naked. And you kind of think, maybe I want to see her naked again. Which I don't blame you.
Yeah. But yeah, so the conversation, you don't go right from friends to I love you. You say, we had sex and my feelings might be changing. Let's grab some dinner and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, something I realized something from that experience. Can we give this a shot? I love you. No, Dan. And Vanessa's I love you back was so appropriate. Okay, we already talked about that.
Blair and Serena meet for lunch, and Blair immediately smells the sex on Serena. The scene keeps switching back and forth from BNS to Dan and Nate. Dan and Blair are both giving horrible advice to Nate and Serena, respectively.
I love that she sees the JBF hair, and Serena, like, she just looks at her face. And
she's glowing. She's glowing.
Yeah, she is. She is. Well, and her hair was a mess, too. But just that, I just love that Blair knows her so well to be like, oh, that didn't last. And, of course, they're both giving terrible advice. The thing is, they're both speaking from experience with these people. So nothing they're saying is necessarily wrong. It is their experience with Nate and Serena, respectively. Dan needs to just not be such a douche about Serena, because this is the second time he's kind of cock-blocked Serena. There was that other time that he was talking to somebody who liked her who
Aaron.
Was it Aaron?
I think so.
Yeah. But there's just been a few times that he lets things out about Serena from his experience. He's not lying. He's not wrong. But Dan, just shut the fuck up and stop being jaded about. I feel like a lot of it comes from Dan was in love with this person from afar and then realized that everybody is. That what he saw wasn't what he was in love with.
Yeah.
I still think they'll end up back together at some point. But yeah, giving terrible advice to two golden retrievers.
Jenny and Damien are trying to figure out how to smuggle the drugs into a state dinner to sell to the ambassador's daughter. Jenny comes up with the idea to use her fashion skills to sew the pills into decorative packets on a jacket.
I like it.
Yeah.
I thought
Good idea.
I thought it was really clever. I loved Jenny's problem solving. I loved her explaining it to Damien, who was like, "What? We're gonna put it into pills into pockets? They're not gonna be empty?"
Dan returns home to the loft to find Lily waiting outside looking for Rufus. Dan is surprised to see Rufus's ski gear in the loft, but Rufus is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, and Dan does not cover for his dad at all. Like, nope, he's been here. And I love it because Dan doesn't put up with bullshit like that. Dan doesn't like the games, and as he shows us later.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, nope, my dad's home somewhere. You can keep trying.
Blair is wearing lingerie and an Ushanka and calls Chuck in a Russian accent, asking when he will be back. Chuck is evasive, and Blair immediately starts snooping and finds the file on the locket.
I thought Blair was supposed to go to lunch with Chuck and that guy for the introduction, and that's not proper lunch attire, is all.
But also, why did Chuck leave those documents out, knowing Blair and knowing that she has access to his suite? Did he subconsciously or consciously want her to get involved?
Probably a little of column A and a little of column B. Probably I should put this away because Blair might find it, but it's okay. I'm just going to leave it out anyway.
Chuck has been waiting outside Elizabeth's hotel for 4 hours. However, when Chuck complains to the doorman, he is informed that Elizabeth immediately checked out of the hotel when she got Chuck's message.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other shitty parent.
Yep.
She fits right in. An awkward Blair passes a bemused Nate as she is leaving Chuck's suite, still dressed as Anna Karenina.
I loved this interaction. It was so quick. It was this. It's from Anna Karenina. You haven't read it. Don't worry about it. I never do. Which you realize how many times has Blair made Nate role play characters from Audrey Hepburn movies and her favorite books that Nate would never fucking watch or read. He probably sat through the movies because at least they were talking pictures, but he wasn't. There's no way he's read any of these books. But how many times did he put on his fucking, whatever costume Blair wanted for the role play of all of these scenarios? It just made me really, when his response to "I never do," it's like, yep, he's been here.
Rufus is standing outside of Lily's building trying to decide if he wants to know the truth or if he wants to be in denial. However, he is interrupted by Holland, who is out walking her dogs. Holland invites him to grab a cup of coffee, and Rufus agrees.
Here, why don't we just walk arm in arm together while I'm trying to figure shit out about my wife, you dumb fucking asshole.
Well, like, she had the umbrella, but it wasn't raining.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think they wanted the scene to be raining, but maybe it just, like, stopped raining.
Yeah, yeah.
And they just couldn't get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, super fucking annoying.
But yeah. There's, like, been almost zero characterization of this woman other than she thinks Rufus is hot.
Yeah, other than she thinks Rufus is hot enough to steal him away from his wife. Or just bang him behind his wife's back.
And she was presumably married too, I think?
Yeah, I mean, we know she was cheated on. And so, but she never said ex-husband.
Yeah.
Right? And
It sounded like she's just kind of living with it.
Yeah, it sounds like that they just allow each other to do whatever, or she knows what he's doing, and so now she's going to do it too. Unhealthy, no matter what.
Which, of course, is what Rufus is doing as well.
Yes, which is exactly what Rufus is doing. You're all fucking dumb teenagers.
Serena shows up to the Empire Suite looking to get busy with Nate. However, while it appears Serena knows well enough to avoid Blair's bad advice, Nate seems to be following Dan's. Being rebuffed by Nate causes Serena to spiral and go against her instinct to ignore Blair. She calls Damien and invites him to be her date for the state dinner. Gossip Girl brings us to the break with Ora lot. No matter what language you say it in, looks like S just started the clock on a ticking time bomb.
Nate, you dumb fuck. And of course Serena responds by being a fucking narcissist. What? He doesn't want to go now? Okay, then I'm going to call that other guy that's clearly fucking into me and go with him.
Yeah, just use this person.
Yeah, I'm going to use this person to play games with the dude that I actually want to be with.
And we move into Act 3. Dan and Rufus are waking up under the same roof for the first time in a while, and things are a bit awkward. Rufus is evasive on whatever is going on between him and Lily. He does, however, admit to wanting to stay in denial a little longer.
Dan has no tolerance for this bullshit at all. I fucking loved how he was just like, shut that shit down. Like, okay, you don't want to talk to me? Make your own damn waffles. I'm out.
Well, he's probably pissed he has to share the loft again.
Yeah. Like I have this place to myself, and now my dad can't work things out with his fucking wife because he's acting like a fucking child and won't do his own advice.
Damien is at the penthouse to pick up the jacket that Jenny has created. He then tells her that he's taking Serena to dinner instead, and she will wear the jacket. Jenny gets a little jealous and threatens to tell Serena about the drugs in the jacket. Damien puts her in a stalemate when he says he will then be forced to tell Serena of how Jenny knew about the drugs.
Damien, you're such a bad business person. Like, you're choosing the girl over the business.
Yeah.
Which, that's really bad for business. Yeah. And as we see tonight.
Yes, as Jenny points out later.
Yeah, just a fucking idiot.
Blair comes back to the Empire Suite to find Chuck is blowing her off again. They argue over which is more important, Chuck looking up some random woman or Blair's social climbing agenda.
Yeah, and at this point, Blair knows she's not some random woman. And so is Blair really this callous and really this, stop doing that and worry about this, or is she trying to push Chuck into saying who she is?
Does Blair know?
At this point, she has already seen the file.
Yeah, that she had a locket of Bart.
But later on, when Chuck picks her up, he said, you saw the file. You know she's more than some random woman. So I kind of wonder if Blair here is already put that together and just kind of...
I didn't get that at all.
I'm actually just kind of thinking of it now in hindsight because of that later scene. Because later on, Chuck says, you saw the file, you know that she's more than some random person.
Yeah, she dated his dad.
Right.
But Blair doesn't know about the flowers, doesn't know about... Yeah, she doesn't know all the details.
She doesn't know all the details. I'm just saying, I feel like on one end, it could just be Blair being Blair and like, come do my thing, your thing is stupid. I feel like there could also be an angle to this where Blair is like, I'm going to call your thing stupid until you admit that it's not.
Yeah, I just don't think Blair would treat it like that if she thought it was his mom.
I get that. I guess I just felt like this was a little out of character for her. A little more ununderstanding for Chuck.
Because as soon as he did tell her that she thought it might be her mom, that's when she completely dropped the Monsieur Dury thing and went with him.
Yeah.
Outside the ball, Nate sees Serena arrive arm in arm with Damien. Jenny tells him all about Damien and that he probably hooked up with Serena in boarding school. Jenny begs Nate to allow her to rescue him for once.
Sure you are, Jenny. I dug it. I thought Jenny was clever,
Oh, yeah.
which Jenny is clever. I liked her showing up for Nate and going in with Nate. I don't think Serena was with this guy back then. I think because the guy said, what happened to that girl I wanted?
Yeah. But Jenny was just pushing buttons.
But she was pushing buttons.
Yeah.
Well done, Jenny.
Yeah.
Well played, I should say.
And she never says he definitely did. She says, I think.
Yeah.
Plausible deniability. She learned from Blair. She learned from Blair.
Mm-hmm.
Nate and Jenny meet Serena and Damien at the coat check. Nate and Serena question their respective partners, and Jenny and Damien verbally spar. Serena declines to check the jacket. Gossip Girl closes the act with, so much for diplomacy. Let the international games begin.
You know, Serena and Nate just being dumb at each other when they first walk in. But then when she doesn't check the coat, I don't know. I didn't see that coming. And I knew that her wearing the coat was going to backfire. I didn't even think of just oh no, I love this coat, I'm going to wear it. It's like, don't, you fucking idiot. If you took the person who planned this, you'd be fine right now.
Yep. So we move into Act 4. At the ball, Blair introduces herself to Damien, who quickly excuses himself. Blair commends Serena for following her advice. Blair also immediately pegs Jenny being with Nate being her own doing and not Nate's. Serena wishes Blair bonne chance with Monsieur Derry.
I love this little best friend check-in.
Mm-hmm.
and oh, come on, Blair. Anyone would know that you're an elitist snob who's perfect for running a secret society. when Serena at the end of the conference, oh.
But I like that Blair knows Nate would not think of bringing Jenny on his own.
Yeah. Oh, yes. that she instantly clocks Jenny as no. She's up to something.
She's behind this.
Yes, she is behind this. Nate might think he brought Jenny to get back at you, but it's only because Jenny wants him to think that. Oh, Nate.
Damien is having problems with his customer because Serena didn't check the jacket as was planned. Jenny continues to mock Damien, but he remains confident he can pull off the plan and Serena's clothes.
Yeah. I love Jenny just owning him.
Yeah.
This whole time. But also, like, Damien just totally overestimates himself and his relationship with Serena. Obviously, this is a kid who's never been told no, or at least has never listened to no. And I love how confident he is.
And he only knows the old Serena, quote unquote.
Yes, exactly. Which, even there, I always got the impression that she went to boarding school to change, right? That she slept with Nate and was like, I can't do this anymore, and ran away to boarding school. So I kind of got the impression that that's where the drinking stopped and the wild party Serena stopped. But this is indicating otherwise.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I think she left because she didn't want to deal with the fallout with Blair.
I guess coming back, it was more the Dan stuff that got her out of the party lifestyle and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Nate and Serena continue to accuse each other of playing games. However, Damien interrupts and pulls Serena away to meet some people. As they are walking away, Damien looks back and whispers at Nate, thanking him for keeping his date company. Such a sleazeball.
He's such a sleazeball, and he thinks he's just got this, and he's so dumb. And also, Nate and Serena are they're this close to just talking, and it's just, nope, gotta be dumb.
When Damien asks Serena about Nate, she admits she was using Damien to make Nate jealous. Damien suggests they fully commit to the bit and starts trying to take the jacket off and then tries to lean in for the kiss. Serena rebuffs him and apologizes again for leading him on. That's when Damien goes from sleazy to creepy, grabbing her arm and slut-shaming her.
There's a lot to take in this little bit here, because first of all, there's Serena just super casually, oh yeah, totally brought you here just to make him jealous. Yeah, he's probably going to be my boyfriend. I totally brought you here to make you jealous. Sorry about that. And he's like, oh, well, okay, then we should fuck. And she's like, no, I just told you I like that guy. Like, I'm not into you. No, but I used to really want to have sex with you. So, like, what happened to her? It's like, well, that's not who I am now, but also I didn't sleep with you then. Why would I now? Yeah. Like, you fucking creep.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting.
Yeah. Blair approaches Monsieur Dury, who is outside smoking a cigarette, but seems perturbed that she wasn't given a formal introduction. Blair is then distracted by the arrival of Chuck, who confesses that he believes Elizabeth is his mother.
So he finally admits it out loud. And you're right that this is where Blair does change her demeanor and goes with him.
Jenny finds Nate wallowing with a drink. Jenny encourages him to not let Serena get away this time, but also mocks him for following the romantic advice from someone who has a Cabbage Patch doll.
Yeah, I loved this scene, the Nate and Jenny talking to each other, getting that advice. I also loved the Cedric shout out that we haven't had one yet this season, so that was fun too.
And again, like, you know, they're clearly setting up Dan and Vanessa right now, and Chuck and Blair are still strong, but the writers keep dropping hints of Dan and Blair because they both have Cabbage Patch dolls. They both give the bad advice this episode.
Yeah.
It's like they're dropping hints.
Yes, which I'm waiting. I'm all for that. I'm all for that matchup because I love whenever they're on screen together.
Chuck and Blair are debating on if Elizabeth could be his mother. At the end of the conversation, Blair tells Chuck that no matter what the outcome, she will be there for him in this. Gossip Girl says, sometimes, despite the risk, the only thing to do is seize the moment. Then we see Serena being pulled into the goat room, or whatever else you can grab. Gossip Girl quips as we go to break.
Now, this is another secret society Blair is turning her back on for Chuck.
Same one.
Yes, I thought there was also one last season. The Colony Club. There was, when Blair walked out, there was the thing where they were trashing Chuck.
They're also trashing Serena too.
They were trashing Serena and Chuck. You're right. Then I'll go. Choosing her friends over the secret society is interesting, especially because I haven't seen Chuck choose Blair over anything.
No.
Like I see Blair choosing Chuck for a lot of stuff. I see Chuck doing stuff for Blair and choosing Blair after the fact, but I don't see him sacrificing for Blair the way Blair sacrifices for Chuck.
Well, you have to make a choice between his mother and Blair.
That'd be a weird choice to have to make.
We move into Act 5. We find out it was Nate who grabbed Serena this time. The pair start getting hot and heavy, and clothing, including the drug jacket, start to come off.
Banging in a coat closet. Banging at the coat check.
Yep.
All right, guys. At least there's a couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least it's not the high school dressing room.
Rufus finally comes home to the penthouse and confronts her about her night with Dr. Daddy.
Yeah. Again, Lily is the reason Serena's a narcissist. Lily's a narcissist. Lily owns it. Lily knows who she is. But Lily's a fucking narcissist.
Somehow, the coat check woman doesn't see Nate and Serena getting some heavy petting on the couch. We, as the audience, also see the drug jacket on the floor, and it looks like one of the packets was broken open.
Yeah, the pills are exposed.
That never comes up, though.
Yeah, why are you showing me this? It felt like they had something written for it to be more, and then in, like, reshoots, they were like, okay, I'm going to scrap that.
Jenny gloats to a humble Damien a bit. Because of the botched job, Damien has to run back to Europe. However, Jenny, always quick on her feet, spots the jacket on the floor and makes sure the ambassador's daughter will get it.
Yeah, once again, they pick up the jacket. No one sees the pills. It's like, oh, well, okay. But Jenny saves the day.
And I feel like she kind of planned this. Because she told Nate to go after Serena.
Yeah.
And she just knows that, they're just going to bone.
Yeah.
She'll
yeah.
take off the jacket eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. I know those two.
Chuck, with Blair standing behind him for backup, corners Elizabeth. However, Elizabeth plays dumb and downplays her relationship with Bart. Chuck continues to dig, but Elizabeth continues to deny and finally tells him goodbye. Blair consoles Chuck and excuses herself to the ladies' room while Chuck gets the car.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate this. I hate this scene. I hate this plot line. It didn't go anywhere. It was nothing. This entire episode felt like a filler episode. Felt like it was, here's some stuff to set up stuff later on, but it felt like they needed an hour episode to fill to show Jenny make a drug deal. And then they just filled all of this stuff in around it. That's like, oh, well, Nate and Serena need to get together. And we have this thing now with Chuck and his mom. But, like, we need to definitely make sure that lasts at least 3 to 6 episodes. So we just need this one of them to just confront each other. And it was nothing. It was so nothing.
This kind of retroactively makes Bart an even worse father.
Yeah.
Because the whole reason supposedly that he hated Chuck was because he killed his mom.
But he didn't. Yeah.
So he just hated Chuck as
So he just hated Chuck because, to be fair, Chuck was pretty hateable back then.
Yeah.
But then Blair's about to confront her, right? Okay.
Yeah. So Blair, instead of going to the restroom, she gets Elizabeth alone and calls her out on her lies. And Gossip Girl leads us to the final break. Could there be a secret even B can't crack? Only time will tell.
Here's the thing. We've seen this Blair technique before. Can you give me a second? I'm going to run to the restroom. Can you give Catherine and I a second? When Blair will excuse herself alone with the woman who she's about to tear down? She doesn't have anything. You don't have any leverage. You're just some fucking kid who's there with her maybe son who's like, what you're doing is wrong. So again, it was just nothing. Blair always has this power. And they made her have this power here of like, moved her enough for the later call, right? So Blair comes in and intimidates this woman, but she doesn't have anything. There's nothing to intimidate her with. There's nothing but her own conscience, which, if her own conscience hasn't bothered her for 18 years, why does Blair now make that happen? I hated it.
We move into the epilogue. At the penthouse, Lily is trickle-truthing Rufus. She admits to kissing Dr. Daddy, but denies sleeping with him. Rufus storms off after stating that he needs time away from Lily to figure this out.
His reaction of, we were engaged. Rufus, the last time Lily was married, the day before, what were you doing? That's right, yeah. Lily.
Yep, you know the old saying, if she'll cheat with you, she'll probably cheat on you.
Yeah. So how are you so blown away that she kissed this dude? She didn't sleep with him. She kissed her ex-husband. She banged her ex-boyfriend the day before her wedding. So yeah, this is kind of her MO. She'll probably now leave you for him. It's a cycle, Rufus. But don't worry, because if this is really the pattern, you could be number 9 also. Or 10. You could be number 10 also. Just go right back through.
It's funny because you were earlier comparing Serena and Lily, and how Serena is just like Lily. So much so, this really reminded me of a scene from episode 11, where Serena was telling Blair it was just one kiss with Trip.
Yeah.
Well, it became much more than just one kiss.
Yeah. Yes. And Rufus being so mad about it, and I get being mad, but his reaction, like, first of all, you should have had this conversation a long time ago, but also when he's like, I need to figure this out away from you. And it's the super dramatic, terrible acting by Matt. Like, he's only good like 25% of the time anymore. He can't do angry. He can't do shocked. He can barely do funny. He can only do like pining for Lily. And that's his best. Pining for Lily, parenting Dan, that's his best acting. And you're trying to work things out with your wife away from her. Do you hear that? That's not how you do things. That's not what you would tell your kids. Fucking idiot. I hate Rufus.
Indeed. Dan is leaving an awkward voicemail for Vanessa, this time asking for a friend to talk about the issues with Rufus and Lily.
This is when I realized it was a Vanessa-free episode. I was like, wow. We had this whole episode and didn't once have to deal with Vanessa. That's pretty sick.
Rufus is staring at the numbers on the elevator going down and at the last moment decides to stop on Holland's floor. He knocks on her door and she gives a sly little smile before silently inviting him in.
You fucking dumbass. Like, what an asshole.
I'm going to get even.
Yeah. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go visit another woman and probably do stuff with her. Just kiss her.
Fucking child.
Child. He is. He's a fucking teenager.
Nate and Serena are post-coitus in the coat room. They decide to stop pushing their luck and start cleaning themselves up. However, Serena's jacket is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, her jacket's nowhere to be found. Her dress, I thought, was still there on the ground. But her jacket's nowhere to be found. The jacket that covered her shoulders. Okay. Guess she definitely needs another one to leave in.
Well, depending on the episode aired on March. I don't know exactly what time they're saying it is in the universe. So if it's in New York in February or January,
you're right, except for the fact that that's not what she came in with in the first place. Like she was ready to leave with this jacket that just covered her shoulders. Yeah. She wouldn't have stolen the other thing, which again to me is a writing thing, a mix between the writing and the design staff. That it's she walks in with this coat, and the writer is imagining a coat and leaves with this other coat, and then you have the designer like, oh, I know how I can make something with these buttons and stuff like that would look really cool.
It's a shawl.
It's a shawl.
Speaking of the jacket, Damien and Jenny are admiring it as is now being worn by the ambassador's daughter who's leaving the party. Damien tries to link arms with Jenny, who scoffs at him and tells him, this wasn't a date. If you want one, you'll have to ask. Damien is left tongue-tied and Gossip Girl begins her closing monologue. With enough time, eventually, we see what was right in front of us.
Jenny, you're so much better than this dude. This dude is such a dickhead. Do not flirt with him. You are so much better than him.
But he's cute and exciting.
And he's rich, and he's a diplomat's son, and all that bullshit.
Danger, danger. He's a danger jockey.
Yeah. Danger, Jenny Humphrey, danger.
Nate and Serena are giggling as they tip the coat check woman for her great service, and we see some random complaining that Serena took her coat. Nate subtly brags about his stamina, and Gossip Girl continues, and realize, no matter how long it took, it was worth the wait.
Yeah, again, compared to the coat you came in with, you didn't really need another coat to leave, but...
Or you could have just borrowed Nate's for the
Or you could have borrowed Nate's to get to the limo.
Yeah.
Right.
But Serena's a narcissist.
Yes. She's a narcissist.
Definitely has main character syndrome.
Yes. Yeah, whoever made her a main character really did her a disservice.
Chuck and Blair are back at the suite, and Chuck says he will never have a real mother. Blair counters with, that doesn't mean you're alone. I love you, Chuck, and I'll always be your family. Blair then gets up and walks away.
Yeah. This whole plot is so fucking weak.
Yeah. As Chuck stares at the locket, Gossip Girl continues. But for some, that time never comes. We see Elizabeth dialing a number, and then Chuck's phone vibrating on the table. Instead of healing old wounds, the wait just opens new ones. Time after time. XOXO, concludes Gossip Girl, as we see Elizabeth holding the other half of the locket, which contains a picture of herself holding a baby.
Yeah. Why all the lies, lady? Which, of course, there's probably going to be... Whatever the explanation is, it's going to suck. Let's go back to what we've always said, that these writers would be great writing teachers, but when they actually have to fill in a plot hole like this, it's gonna be weak. I can't imagine it being like, that's a valid reason to to ignore your kid and to let him go through all of this his whole life. I'm not going to be satisfied with this.
The writers are all set up and no payoff.
Yes. Yes.
Just like, so we got that the previous scene where Blair says, "I'll always be your family," and then immediately gets up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's got to come into play.
Yes. Well, and we're telling all these lies. Also, I started laughing when you were reading it because I was thinking back to the scene where Chuck confronts her and he pulls out the locket and she's like, "Oh, you can keep that." Motherfucker, I am keeping it. You left it behind.
So the full closing monologue for Gossip Girl is, with enough time, eventually we all see what was right in front of us and realize no matter how long it took, it was worth the wait. But for some, that time never comes. Instead of healing old wounds, the wait just opens new ones. Time after time, XOXO, Gossip Girl. And that is our episode, so what's coming next?
I think we've got a little run of Nate and Serena. They're going to have drama in there because they're both going to constantly be drawn away by whatever shiny objects are put in front of them. Whoever says I love you to Serena next. I do see this Blair, Dan, and maybe even Chuck, Jenny thing. I kind of see because nothing would hurt the other more, right? For Chuck to cheat with Jenny would be the worst for Blair. Maybe Serena, but still, Jenny would be such a terrible one. And for Blair to cheat with Dan would be really horrible to Chuck because they hate each other for the most part. I guess they've kind of come around at this point, but Dan doesn't have any love lost for Chuck.
Man,
Nor
should he.
Nor should he. Nor should he. Nor should we, but they've done such a great job of this glow up. If the writers can do one thing, they can make a predator look good. They can really turn a predator around. The other big prediction, at this point, I kind of hope Lily and Rufus just fucking end it. I don't want them to have drama. I want them to just be parents. Why are the showrunners so insistent on making Lily and Rufus have drama? It's a kid's show. Let the show be about the kids and let the parents just be fucking parents so they can be half decent parents sometimes. Let Lily be a parent to anyone but her kids and let Rufus be a parent to pretty much everyone but Jenny. And then let that be their roles. Stop having them get this fucking bullshit. I hate it.
Anything else?
Rufus is totally going to bang that chick.
Who do we think this woman is?
The head of the HOA, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's as far as I've gotten with it, is head of the HOA. I mean, does she have something out for Lily? I mean, Lily probably pisses off the HOA. Lily, I think they've actually established that Lily has pissed off the HOA. And if not, she seems like someone that would. So I could see that being a thing, but maybe she's something else. Wait a second. What's her husband? Her husband is a something. Wonder if her husband banged Lily. Wonder if her husband cheated on her with Lily. That would scan. Wonder if her husband is Serena's dad.
You would think they would mention that.
Plot twist. He lives in the building, Serena. He lives downstairs. He doesn't have penthouse money anymore.
He just doesn't care about you at all.
He cares that little
he hates
about
you that
you.
much.
The late letter, dear Serena, I banged your mom. I don't love you. XOXO, your dad. Also, I'm Gossip Girl. He's been making her life a living hell for the past 2 years. Her dad's actually Gossip Girl.
Well, on that note, let's get into some segments. So the Wayback Machine, a little creaky this week. Couldn't find either Tells You Without Pity or Fan Forum. So I did find a Reddit post from 6 months ago. Someone was watching this episode for the first time.
That's really weird. I wonder if it's a matter of there was that 3-month hiatus and no one was looking for Gossip Girl because...
Yes, I mean, in the case of the Television Without Pity, those are all on archive.com. So they no longer exist.
Mm-hmm.
And you can sometimes, the link is there, but when I click on it, it just says, no, we didn't archive this page.
Oh, okay.
Fan forum, I don't know what was up because they did have specific episodes. I don't know if you're familiar with fan forum, but they have like a million boards. There's boards for the individual actors. So there's a Jenny episode 513 discussion thread.
Wow.
There's a
very
Dan
specific
513 episode thread. There's even a Vanessa one, and she's not even in the episode. But this one poster, she had the same complaint about about Serena asking Damien to text her a number. And does Nate even go to college?
Yeah.
I mean, Columbia's supposed to be pretty competitive, I've heard. Why didn't they just make Nate go to some sports college?
Yeah. Why was Columbia his... Because this is the one that he wanted to go to, right?
Yeah. I mean...
Grandfather wanted him to go
to
Yale, and he wanted to go to Columbia.
But just so he could prove that he could get in himself.
Yes, which he did. But also, did he? Because because did you really graduate St. Jude's by yourself?
And they're also confused on how Chuck's mom is still alive.
Yeah. Why is Chuck's mom still alive?
Bad plot.
It's terrible.
Speaking of which, let's go ahead and get into some episode grades. I went first last week, so you can go first this time.
C-. And I feel like I'm being generous. I feel like as I thought about it the first time when I first wrote it down a grade, the directing is okay. The episode is terrible. The writing, the plot, the show running, I would even say is terrible here. I feel like they had some good scenes with besties. They had cute Blair Serena scenes. They had some cute Dan and Nate stuff. And Blair, of course, is always fantastic on screen. Jenny was probably the only person who I thought really had a good episode. And all of the plot lines are just fucking dumb, except the Jenny dealing drugs. I think that she's dumb for doing it. I don't think it's out of character. I don't think it's a bad storyline. All the other storylines were terrible.
Yeah, I actually have the same exact grade, C-, and for most of the same reasons. Like, I really like the Jenny storyline. The Jenny, even though Damien's a creepy sleazeball, but he was well-written character, and Kevin Sisgars does a great job acting the character.
Yeah, and I like Jenny with a sleazeball because Jenny has the cojones to deal with a sleazeball. Serena, when she's with a sleazeball, it's, I'm
so in love.
Oh, I'm so in love with how sleazy you are. Sir, I can't wait to go to your high school reunion, your 10th high school reunion next week.
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
But yeah, so I like the Jenny Damien stuff. I like the storylines. I like the Nate and Serena storyline. It was funny. They were being stupid at the beginning, but they worked it out at the end. And the Dan and Blair giving the simultaneous bad advice.
Yeah,
it was all cute.
I didn't hate I wasn't even thinking about the Nate and Serena stuff. I didn't hate that stuff. It was very in line with them and who they are. They were idiots.
Yeah.
But they're idiots. It was really the Rufus and Lily and the Chuck's mom stuff that just brought the episode down to C-. Terrible.
Moving over to Stock Watch, who do you have going up?
Nate and Serena getting their shit together. Lil J, Jenny's stock definitely went up. The neighbor homewrecker Holland, her stock is going up. And that's who I have.
So I had those four: Nate, Serena, Jenny, and Blair Holland for the same reasons. But also I had Blair because she was a good girlfriend.
Yeah,
she was there and she stood by him. She was a little snoopy at the beginning, but she didn't push it too hard. So I gave her an up. Who do you have going down?
So I'll start with Blair.
Okay.
So I gave Blair a down because she gave up another secret society for Chuck, who isn't going to repay that favor. So I saw her as giving something up.
Was she really giving it up, though? She didn't seem like she was getting anywhere. Anyways.
I feel like had she pivoted and gone for it, I think she could have. The way that I felt like that was what we were supposed to believe, that when she went out there, that she could have worked her way in to that conversation. So I did have her as going down. And I'm going to reiterate that a lot of that is, I don't think Chuck would do this for her. And so I think that she is pouring her resources into something that is not going to net gains for her.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I had Chuck going down because your own mom doesn't even want to talk to you. Your mom, you think your dad hates you? Your mom faked her own death to never see you again and then lied to you about it. She'll visit your dad's grave and put flowers on it, but doesn't want to see you. Damn, Chuck. I also had Rufus and Lily going down because they suck.
Mm-hmm.
I have Damien going down because he's a fucking idiot and a sleazeball. I have Dan going down for pining over Vanessa. And also I feel like at the end of that episode, if you ask Dan would say his stock was down. Not only is he pining for Vanessa, he really is kind of going through family stuff and needs a best friend right now, but he kind of fucked that up.
Yeah.
So that's my going down.
For me, I had Rufus and Lily because they were horrible and children. Damien because he's a sleazeball creep. Mm-hmm. Chuck because his mom doesn't want him. Elizabeth because she's a horrible mother.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to put Elizabeth.
Dan, I also have because, he was just a sad sack and gave bad advice. And then I also had Bart because he was mentioned and he retroactively became a worse father.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead and add Bart for me, too, because that is true.
But here's the best outfits from the last episode we've seen.
Moving on to best outfit, who do you got?
So in the beginning of the episode, the first time that Blair goes to Chuck to talk about how she wants the lunch, she was wearing this black, I think it was a dress with a zipper on it and very slight shoulder pad kind of thing, and I dug it. And that was mine. I didn't really think that a lot of the fashion stood out for me as much. I'll shout out Blair's later dress that she wore to the...
I thought all three of the ladies' dresses for the ball were good. Blair with her Victoria Beckham, Jenny with the Andrew Gian, and Serena with the Versace. Ultimately landed on Serena's dress outfit from earlier. Just the whole look. She had the sweater dress from Blue Girl, the plaid stockings, the thigh-high boots, and the white jacket with the brass buttons and the cashmere gloves.
Yeah. Yeah, I also really wanted to shout out Jenny's that like spider web dress thing.
I also really like Jenny's makeup.
Yes. Which she often...
Which was very different from her normal style.
Yes, she did not look like a raccoon burglar.
Yes, she still had the black mascara, but then she had the pink eyeshadow and matching cotton candy pink lipstick.
Yes, yeah.
That is it for segments. Is there anything you would like to plug this week?
I'm going to mention that I was actually cast in a film. Friend of our friend Colin from Turtle Ridge has been in a few short films that he and a friend of his are making, have made, and now they're doing their first feature-length film. And I will be playing Colin's dad in it. We'll be shooting sometime in the fall. So, but we're going to start putting out promotional fundraiser stuff soon too. So, going to start putting that on people's radars. And if you want to follow me, you'll find all kinds of stuff about it as I start working on this. You can follow me at TikTok at steve.marchon, Marchion. That's TikTok and Instagram. You can also find me on Blue Sky at The Weed Wizard. So go ahead and follow me there. And that's what I've got going on right now.
Nothing for me to plug right now, but if you want to follow me, you can find me on Instagram and Threads and Blue Sky at Hot Capicola. That's HOTCAPICOLA. CAPICOLA. You can follow the podcast at Non-Judging Breakfast Pod on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. You can also find links to our subreddit, Patreon, and Discord servers on our website, nonjudgingbreakfastpod.com.
And if you'd like to get in touch with us, we'd love to hear what you have to say. Please send us an email at nonjudgingbreakfastpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts and read them here on the podcast, along with any comments you may leave, as we did earlier today. And while I'm mentioning it, please go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the follow, and please leave a comment. Let us know what you're thinking about this episode. It really helps with our visibility in Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And it also lets us just connect with you and know your thoughts. And finally, while you're at it, while you're out there, let people know what you're listening to, and maybe you can make us your water cooler talk.
We will be back next week to talk about Season 3, Episode 14, The Lady Vanished. The episode description reads, Rufus and Lily grow suspect of Jenny's relationship with Damien. Chuck learns about the woman who may or may not be his mother. And Dan and Vanessa struggle through the awkwardness of dating other people.
So Dan, oh, Jesus. Okay. So that means that we're going to see Dan. Oh my God, it's going to be Willa. Dan's going to be getting sexually assaulted by Willa while trying to sleep with Vanessa, who's banging Paul. Got it.
Well, until next time.
XOXO.
You're a little fast there.
XOXO.
Yeah, I didn't finish my sentence.
Oh, my bad.
Until next time, you know you love us.
XOXO. Little premature.
Well, click on the draw there, Steve. You need to take some lessons from Nate.
Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Oh, it seems I'm walking right to your door. My heart's still resting, looking for something more. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Never feels right when I'm out here on my own. I left last night and it feels like way too long. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Come back to me. Smile and you'll make my life complete. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there.